Hello there, and welcome to another of Andre's Artist Profiles. One of the saddest things to me is that I was born just after this lady's time. She passed away of breast cancer in 1979 and was actually very devoted to the Breast Cancer Foundation in its earlier days and did PSAs for them. And she was a very sweet lady who we all know as Minnie Riperton. Now, in case you're wondering about why I only have two albums by her, I actually have four. Let me explain. These are twofers from the Stateside label, released in the early 2000s, and I feel privileged to have gotten a hold of them. I think they may still actually be in print. I'm not sure. But Minnie Riperton, in the 60s, the Chicago soul, jazz, blues vocalist, was the singer in a band called the Rotary Connection, of course. The Rotary Connection were a biracial group who had kind of a Baroque, psychedelic, blues, soul approach. Very unique. And in that same spirit, she made her first album in 1969 called Come to My Garden. Stevie Wonder was purportedly such a fan of that album. When he first met Minnie Riperton out, he asked, "Where can I get another copy?" It's probably from that kind of rock and soul and rumor department. But anyway, it might have happened knowing Stevie's personality. But in 1974, she recorded an album called Perfect Angel, which is pictured right there, which had a humongous hit called Loving You on it. And that's a song that just about everybody knows. And she reached a high F on it. Minnie Riperton had a vocal range that easily rivaled the Mariahs or anybody out there. And she flowed so fluently between them. Of course, she had a very high voice to begin with. And this is a beautiful album. Stevie Wonder produced a lot of the cuts on that, such as my favorite, I want to get the title right, Take a Little Trip, which is very much a classic Stevie Wonder cut with him on Fender Rhodes. Beautifully written song. Fantastic record. And the next album is a funkier record called Adventures in Paradise. That, oh my God, that's an amazing jazz funk record. And an amazing song, Adventures in Paradise, if you want to listen to it. Amazing lyrics, very poetically beautiful, very Minnie Riperton, So that's those two albums together. These were made in 2004, by the way. Now, sadly, these would be her last two studio albums made while she was alive. This album was the first one, released in 1977, called Stay in Love, a romantic fantasy set to music. That is a beautifully cinematic soul funk exploration where Minnie explores the lower, the higher, and all ends of her vocal range. Really underrated record, I must say. I never really heard of it until this, but it's a wonderful album. The next one she released was Minnie in 1979. Now, sadly, she was a very sick lady when that album came out. I don't know if it shows, but, she was still at the top of her vocal power, and she did a fantastic rendition on that album of Light My Fire. I'm not sure, but I believe that Stevie Wonder was involved in that. And I believe she also duetted with Jose Feliciano on that song, who had a big hit with the Doors classic, sometime later. Yep, Jose Feliciano. And they had a great rapport at the end of it, where he's told Minnie Riperton how wonderful she was, and she says to Jose, "You're not so bad yourself," and I love it. Now, after this, after her passing, the label released an album called Love Lives Forever, which had actually some background vocals by Michael Jackson even on it. And I'm definitely going to be getting those two albums, Come to My Garden and Love Lives Forever. I want to be a Minnie Riperton completist. Maybe even look for some Rotary Connection stuff. I mean, she's an amazing talent. Everything she touches seems to be musical gold. Vocally, the musicians she picks, just an amazing talent. You don't get a lot of female talents like that these days. The closest you would get would be an Esperanza Spalding or a Janelle Monáe. But she really started that whole, thoughtful soul and funk thing going and was an amazing talent. Anyway, that's Minnie Riperton, the late Minnie Riperton. This would have been her birthday had she had lived. My best out to her family, to her daughter Maya, ex-Saturday Night Live cast member. Hope the best for you. We're all thinking about your mother and her music. See you next time.